Well, hello there out there in video land. What a fun day this is. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, me. Well, not so much me. We're actually going to be talking about real estate agents and brokers and their role with you, the clients. The first role that agents have is to be a guide, to walk you through a very complicated process. And let's be honest, this is usually the largest transaction that most people actually make in their lives, be it an investment property or a buying or selling a home. These are big transactions. They can be very emotional. We're here to help you by saving you time and getting you through the process to meet your goals. Speaking of goals, if you have not watched the goal setting video or the primer on it, just click the link above and you can go watch that video as well. That is another TNT. The next thing that we're here to do is to educate. We want to educate you on market knowledge, data. We have access to data so that you can make effective decisions. As part of our responsibility is to make sure that we're doing the due diligence that we can and the disclosures that we can so you can make effective decisions at that point in time. But at the same time, we're also there to be an advocate for you. Now, having an advocate, someone who is trying to look out for your best interest, that's called a fiduciary responsibility. Now, a fiduciary responsibility, by definition, is a responsibility involving trust, especially with regard to the relationship between the trustee and a beneficiary. It's a mouthful. I know it's a mouthful. But this means that we have a responsibility to be honest and operate in good faith to all parties. Not just you, to all parties. Why all parties? Well, I'm glad you asked that. I'm going to go into that in the agency video, which I'm posting the link above here, in depth, going over agency and the more legal aspects of it, including buyer agency, seller agency, and dual agency, so that you can get a better understanding of this. Moving forward, what are some of the other things that we have to do? Well, we have to negotiate. Not all the time is it just a buyer and a seller. Sometimes it's multiple buyers. I've seen situations where there's been 120 buyers on a property, and it gets a little crazy. So we are here to guide you through the negotiation process, applying our knowledge, giving advice as best we can at that moment in time that will lend you to make the best decision possible. We're not making the decision. You are. Always remember that you're making the decision. You know, a real estate sales file can get to be this thick. Well, how thick is that? That's my palm of my hand. That's pretty big, right? And that doesn't even include your loan documents. When we used to print out these files, they could get to be this thick. That is a lot of paperwork, disclosures, information to review. It's a very tedious process, and we're here to manage the paperwork and keep you organized because it is a full-time job to manage that sales file. That's why we have multiple people working on a sales file. There are a number of things that can happen during a transaction, honestly. This process is very much an emotional process, and if buyers and sellers were left to negotiate amongst themselves, transactions would never happen. Many times it would actually just blow up on itself. Realtors are there meant to be a balance in between the two to work out the differences so that a transaction can have place. Do sometimes buyers not buy and sellers, decide not to accept offers? Absolutely, it does happen. But that doesn't mean that it can't go a little bit smoother than an emotional nightmare that can happen. Listen, I hope that this was helpful. It's a good primer into the roles of agents and how they should be performing for you, the client. If you want, again, more detailed explanation of the different types of agencies, including buyer's agents, seller's agents, and more importantly, dual agency and what that means, click the agency video again, and I look forward to seeing you on the next TNT.